Hey, y'all. I am so excited to have my dear friend, my guest. She done moved and relocated from me, but you know what? We managed to still stay connected all of these years. I'm sorry, y'all. We was having all these technical difficulties, but y'all know how the devil is. When a great message is getting ready to come and hit you up, it will try to block you. I also wanted to tell y'all all thank you for the prayers because as y'all can tell, my mouth is healed. Praise God. So I am feeling better. Now, this one right here, y'all, she gonna bring it. When I mean she gonna bring it, she just gonna wrap you, get you all together, not only in your life, but also your pockets. All right. So without further ado, I am gonna bring my girl to the stage, Dr. Shamecca. I was gonna say Scott, but you know what? I gotta put that respect on his name. Dr. Shamecca Williams. Hey, sis.
Hello, Adrian. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. I had to look around and say, "Oh my gosh, what's she talking about?" Oh,
Girl, I'm talking about you, boo. You doing it up, speaking all over the place and changing lives. So you know what? You just got to tell everybody. Just give them some background on you.
all praise to God. Let me start there. But a little background. So I am a board certified clinical psychologist. I am a proud graduate of Virginia State University.
Come on.
And, I'm also in the military. I'm also an Army psychologist. And, God, Adrian, has been so good to me since things have just blossomed since we first met. I believe it was in 2015.
Amen.
God has allowed me to speak in Paris. I've had speaking engagements for Spain and he's just doing so many awesome things. So excited to be coming to the seven-figure boss.
On, because you know you gotta bring it, right? You know you gotta bring it. I love how you wrap it together. Now we're not gonna give it all to them, Shamecca.
Okay.
Okay, because if we give it all to them, they're not gonna want to come.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just loving everything that's going on in your life right now. You know, of course, I love that new man.
Me too, girl.
Girl. Girl, he got you just on lockdown. He know he take care of his boo.
That's my boo.
And I'm loving that this new brand. I'm not gonna put it all out there, but I'm loving what y'all getting ready to bring to the table because it's missing.
Yes.
It is so missing. So
Yes.
just give them a little teaser.
So, Dr. Charles Williams. Surgery upstairs, girl. I've been playing a nurse, a mama, and everything else today. But like I was sharing with you, we both come from very different backgrounds. And being African American, we can speak to very different aspects that will hit our community. Me as a female, him as a male, and then the things that we go through, one as a Black female, a Black male, and then two as a Black couple.
Come on.
Oftentimes, and I always tell a joke, you can imagine what our arguments are like because we're both psychologists, right? Psychologists are known for saying, well, how does that make you feel? But the thing about it is that the thing I love about mental health is that it doesn't discriminate.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so when we're giving, like Dr. Kareem said, when we're giving the prescription for the medicine,
come on,
that's because we've already taken the medicine and we know
for
that.
Real. That part.
Yes. And so, I'm just so excited for what we have on the horizon to be able to, and not just select it to African Americans, because love doesn't have a color.
Right.
But to be able to bring something, hopefully that's new and innovative, because there's been a paradigm shift in our community. all together. And so just being able to bring a fresh new breath of love and,
Okay.
and the things
And
that
girl, you skating around it, so you know how my show is. I'm just gonna go ahead in it, and I'm gonna talk about it.
okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Girl, you making that money, okay? You
Okay.
making that money. Your husband making that money. How do y'all still, like I love to see y'all when y'all together. Cause girl, it was so freaking cute.
Thank you.
But I watched how you still said, you know what, he's still the head.
Yeah,
Even though I'm making all of this.
yeah.
So how do you still keep what, some may say
Mm-hmm.
that's the old school way of thinking. Now I'm thinking a new way. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But how do you still keep your marriage alive? Still keep where you showing your husband you are the head, baby, of this household, regardless of how much money I make. How do
Mm-hmm.
you still run
Mm-hmm.
that out?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think it really comes down to one, that's how I was raised, right?
Amen.
But two, knowing what men need. Men need to feel respected in their home. Men need to know that that is their kingdom. And I'm your helper. I don't stand behind you, I stand beside you. And so you go out and you fight the lions and the tigers every day. You don't need to fight them when you come home.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying?
Girl.
So now now I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know, it's we have our bouts, but at the end of the day, I know who's the head of the household because he answers to God.
Come on.
And so that's very important, I think, to really know the fact of what is it that your husband, your spouse needs from you. And I always pray and
Mm.
help me to be the wife that he needs. Because the wife that he needs may not be the wife that somebody else needs. And so, respect, men are drawn to respect.
Mm.
And so that's very important to
And you
make.
know what?
Mm-hmm.
I find, especially when I'm talking to younger couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
They think when we say that respect word,
Mm-hmm.
that it means that you are a doormat.
Right.
And that's not what we are saying. We're saying something that's like totally the opposite, because my mother always told me, your man needs to know that he's needed.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
So
it.
girl, I ain't gonna lie. When my husband come home, I'm handicapped. My hands don't work no more. I can't twist out the light. Girl, I can't do nothing. It's like, babe, do it all. And here it is. We can hit up 25 years. You
That's
know,
awesome.
but so girl, I'm about to pull everything out of you because you ain't tell me it wasn't nothing I can't talk about. So
I,
I'm
I
just going all in,
do
right?
what you do.
Okay. So you did this at a more mature time in your life.
I was old.
Come on, come with it now. Come with it.
I was
So,
old.
what do you think the difference would have been had you did it as a younger woman?
Mm. Um, I was a lot more feistier,
Mm.
lot more. I think now that I'm older, there's pros and cons to it. The pro is that I have more wisdom than I did when I was younger. And whereas now that I'm older, I can see the forest from the trees. Some things don't need to be
For real.
argued about. Some things is okay. And I have learned how to approach things differently. I'm learning that.
Mm.
Yes, I'm learning that. Whereas when I was in my 20s, oh, it's on. You say something to me, no, we going toe to toe.
I know that's right.
And now, don't get it twisted. I still have I still have days like that. But now that I'm older, I think I have more restraint to say, okay, this ain't something that's worth fighting about. And I have more of an appreciation for manhood and what it takes,
Ooh, baby.
the struggle, the struggle. And so that's the pros. Now the con, I think, of getting married later is the independence part, because I've been independent for so long. And so now, kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, now, you're saying, okay, now we're going to come together as one. So it's not just you no more.
Mm,
It's not just your money. It's not just what you want to do. It's now learning really how to be married, how to incorporate another person in your decision making, and just really, incorporating them into your day-to-day life. Because for over 20 some years, I made my own decisions.
right, right.
And so it's a process. But if I had to do it again, I would do it a little bit younger, maybe in my late 30s. But I don't regret doing it at all.
I know that's right.
Hmm.
So I love how you and your husband, y'all are serial entrepreneurs. Love it, love it, love it.
Thank
You
you.
know, that are making it happen, but not only making it happen for you yourself, y'all are making it, y'all are employing other people. So,
Yes.
girl, I love it. So talk to the point, especially when you're merging
Hmm.
these two different households together.
Hmm.
And remember how we was talking about our boyfriend? Girl,
Right.
wait a minute, our boyfriend that show up in that gray truck. Girl, we don't know how he got there.
No.
But he bring us presents almost every day.
Every day. I love him. He's on time.
Girl. Always.
Right.
So just talk to the point with just merging those finances and trying to, you know, my husband just had to learn, girl. I know with me is like he know I love the brown man, that little brown truck and that gray one that come to the house. So he just left me alone. He like, I just know that she loves to do it.
Right.
But talk to that, especially when you got two households. Like you said, he was independent over here, you independent over here. Now y'all are coming together as one.
With a mother-in-law.
Come on. I love mama.
She can't wait to see you, girl.
I
But
can't wait to see her.
with the mother-in-law, I mean, that is a factor in and of itself. But I think this is the benefit. God sends people that are just for you, I believe. And Charles is a man that is very patient because, like I told you, I'm in process. So I still have flashbacks, right? And so, but he's patient with me. He is so patient with me, and he has studied me.
Mm,
He has studied me to know, like
mm.
you just sharing, okay, I already know she loved Amazon. And that ain't even a battle worth fighting. But can we limit it to this amount? Or can we limit it to this? So he knows how to reel me in without using a whip, metaphorically. Um, and so the merging of the households, we have bumps, but it's not what I imagined when I was single because of the man that he is,
Wow.
because he's 10 and a half years my senior. And so he had a lot of experiences before me that has made him perfect for me now.
Jesus.
You understand what I'm saying? So, I always tell people I'm the emotional one. I'm the one that's sometimes I make emotional decisions. But you met him and he's very stoic. He's gonna sit there, he's gonna listen, he's gonna process, and you're like, are you listening? What you got any emotions? But that's the other side that I need to help balance me out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's what makes the merging easier than what I imagined when I was single.
Wow. So, what would you say would probably one of your biggest challenges? I'm talking about that old Shamecca.
Mm-hmm. That still rise up from now time
Come
to
on now. What was your biggest challenge in that season?
my biggest challenge is this is
Girl, I think it's an East Coast thing. I don't know what it is, but
it is a cage that holds my tongue. That's my biggest challenge of um learning not to weaponize my words.
mm,
You understand?
totally
Cut you down.
to the white meat.
Come on, girl.
That's what I'm like, to the white meat.
Exactly. So really learning, being cognizant now at this stage of my life, being cognizant of um when to speak, and like my grandmother said, when to bridle my tongue. Hold your peace.
Mm.
You know, um, yeah, that's this right here. mm, this the biggest challenge all day, every day.
But you know what is so funny because me and you was talking about this the other day
Mm-hmm.
because when you talking about the two different upbringings,
Right.
because girl, you cleaned up real good.
And God,
They don't know the past. They don't know that old. That's why I said that old Shamika.
thank
They
God,
don't know what you went through. They don't understand the story.
thank God. Adrian, one of my best friends, Zakia Ali, I think she was just logged on or was listening.
She is.
When I met her, she is a grammar, she's a prolific writer, grammar. When I met her in college, she used to, the first thing she would say to me, subject verb agreement. What? She would say, you can't go around talking like that. Your subject and your verb, subject verb agreement. But I'm giving you that snippet of the past because to show you that yes, I didn't. God is good. You
That's,
understand what
come
I'm
on. Come
God?
on.
Yeah, all the time. Love you, Z.
Wait a minute, she laughing. She laughing at you, girl. She like, mm-hmm. She remember those good old days.
She know. She know.
So, just I'm going back to the upbringing, and even with you because you saw some of my star too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, a lot of people they look at your cleanup.
Girl.
That's why I said they look at the cleanup, but they don't know your story.
That's it. That's
How
it.
you got there. They're looking at like, you know what, you were born with that silver spoon in your mouth because they're looking at the money and the lifestyle you have now,
Mm.
but not understanding the walk that you had to go through to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So what was some of the things that you think the streets of Be More taught you?
Mm. To be relentless.
Mm.
So my core message is you will win if you don't quit.
Come on.
My grandmother told me that. I remember when I failed my licensure exam, girl, I was to become a psychologist. I was devastated because I had put so much into it. And she looked at me and she said, Buddha girl, with her South Carolinian self, and said, you'll win if you don't quit. And that took root in me because it was like, well, if God has brought you through this, and this prior,
Come
what
on.
do you think you ain't gonna get through this right here? You understand? I come from a past of um trauma, and that's what I focus my career on. I come from a past of trauma. you know. And so relentlessness, being relentless is something that that stays with you. Because you know why I don't like being poor.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Mm-mm.
In every way.
Mm-mm. I don't think it look good on me.
Girl, me neither.
So you got to get in the grind. You know, you got to get in the grind. There is a when me and my father used to ride around in the inner city, um, you know, be with him, and he would always say to me, "Look at all this pain." You know, Baltimore is known for, um, you know, substance abuse, drugs, and he would always say, "Look at all of this pain. I want you to look at this pain." Talking about the people in the streets, and I just knew that I don't want to live this way. And it's sometimes it's due to no fault of their own.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't see people that look like you,
Come
that
on.
matriculate and come out of that, it becomes very hard. That's why I started off by saying I'm a proud graduate of Virginia State University. That's not where I got my doctorate from, but that's where I grew. That's where I learned
Yeah.
to appreciate education and to appreciate being Black.
Come on.
All of my professors were Black professionals, and they taught me to take pride in myself and to go get your money.
So this is leading me to this next question.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I tell everybody, I'm like, no, I marketed. I wanted nothing but doctors in my chair. I'm like, I wanted the coins in my chair. So that's what I went after, people that can afford me. But I learned so much from y'all in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing, and thank you too, the biggest thing that I learned from all of my clients
Mm-hmm.
is stop being so afraid, because I saw myself stepping out into a world where people don't look like me.
Yes.
And I would watch how you figure I would deal with a now and again.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched how y'all dealt with it every single day, where most of the times you did not have a colleague that looked like you in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you deal with that? And the reason why I say that, because I don't think people understand where we came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because it had to be a mental shift,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially in your situation. So how did you do it?
Let me tell you, I've lived in several different um, military installations. Every clinic that I have worked in, I have been the only Black. I remember working in one clinic in Alabama where out of the whole hospital, it was me and one other, and he was a physician assistant. He wasn't a medical doctor. And so my start came when I went to get my doctorate. I would be the only Black in my class. And it was hard. It was hard because I found that in those type of situations, you know, I was looked at as the Black expert. I was supposed to be able to speak for all Black people. Um, but now I find that at first I used to think like, oh God, now I'm gonna be the only Black person here. But now, again, with age, I'm good with it. Because what it shows me is that if you're good enough to be here, I'm just as good enough to be here as you.
Come on.
What I learned, you know what? My grandmother played such a pivotal part in my life. When I was applying to college, she said, won't you go to Duke University? Girl, I ain't had no grades to go to no Duke University. I barely went to high school. I was like, Mama, I can't get.
Look at how much belief she had in you.
Right. But see, what it was is that she didn't believe that I would get a quality education at a Black school,
Wow.
right? Because that's what society
That
teaches.
is so true.
And so now, when I what now I am, thank God, the director of psychological health for the whole entire installation where I'm stationed at now.
Come on.
I have over 223 employees. And guess what, honey? I'm the first Black and I'm the first female. So what you should have seen their face when I walked in. Good morning. How are you?
Right, right.
Because of the simple fact of those steps before school, being the only Black, they prepped me. Going to different installations, working in different clinics, being the only Black, they prepped me. Because the thing about fear is this: the more you do something that you fear, the less the fear has a grip on you. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
And that's a whole nother conversation. But the impact decreases the more you do the thing that you are afraid of. The fear decreases little by little by little. And so I'm not going to lie to you. There are situations when I go in, when I'm the only Black and I get that queasiness in my stomach, you know,
You feel it and do it anyway.
that's it. I had a professor tell me that. He said, Shamecca, I could tell you're nervous. I said, yeah, I'm nervous. He said, feel the fear and do it anyway. That changed my life. Because what it taught me is that you ain't the only person that feel fear.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true.
Hi,
So true. I said, and it's so crazy because when a lot of people think, they look at where you're at
hmm.
and they're like, you know what? She ain't never scared. You know, she don't go through this. She done already surpassed the whole part with getting that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
You know, but it's like when you think about it, I know with me, I'm always thinking, what's on that other side of fear?
That's right.
You know, because it's like, can you imagine if you don't do it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. You know what? I have learned to accept. Okay, I already know I'm gonna be nervous. That's a given. And now what? And now what? I mean, we already know that. So come on, nervousness. We're gonna walk this together because at the end of the day, we still gonna execute the mission.
Come on.
That's it. I mean, we're still gonna, because you know why? When you said how I grew up, one of the things was that I had people that depended on me. I still have people that depend on me. Their livelihoods
That part.
depends on me. So you better get your mind right, girl. Get your mind right. Look at that.
Girl, I tell everybody, get your money in your pockets right.
I know that's
You
right.
know, I said, I look at today
Mm-hmm.
how I was blessed that the person didn't even ask me to drop no money in their Cash App. And then I received a message on Facebook that said, they said to me, they said, you just don't realize how much I needed this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why when I'm like, when people be sitting up there waiting to
Mm-hmm.
walk into their greatness, I'm like, do you realize how many people are depending on you
Yeah.
making it happen?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I know with me and my family, it's like I'm the first.
Girl. Yes.
I'm the first. So I got everybody, especially on my mother's side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the first. They like, and I was supposed to be the dumb one. So it's like, how the hell did she? How did she end up with all of this? You
Right.
know, so everybody's just looking like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like because I have all of these people that are looking at me,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my mother's girl, my mother's sister's like that's like my mama.
Mm-hmm.
And she just messages me from time to time and say, wow, I'm just so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I just cannot believe all of those dreams
Mm-hmm.
you walked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you think about you going through those streets in Baltimore What was the difference? What do you think the difference was? I'm pretty sure I know the answer, what you're going to say to me, but what do you think the difference was with you
Mm-hmm.
going through those same streets
Mm-hmm.
opposed to the other ones that just became a product of
Mm-hmm.
their environment, became so complacent to where they're at?
Mm-hmm. Easy. My grandmother kept me in church.
I knew you was going to say that.
My grandmother kept me in church. Now, as I got old, of course, I still went to the club like that. But
Girl, you at a HBCU, so come on, nobody do a party like a HBCU. Just saying.
known for party, but the foundation was laid very early. And so I know, I don't even think, I know that is what really directed my trajectory, because of the fact that she laid the foundation early. And then I had to learn God for myself. You know, Adrian, most people don't know this, and it's with his permission that I can say this, but my brother, who I love dearly, is incarcerated. I talk about this in my book.
You know I'm dealing with the same.
And he's been incarcerated for 21 years. So I would go to school. On the weekends, I would drive 6 hours to see him, 6 hours one way, 6 hours the other way. So that's what I say about, when you were saying that when people look at you, you don't know what I'm carrying on my back,
Come on.
but
Come
you ain't
on.
supposed to know. You
Come
are
on.
supposed to know, right? And you know, he's the smart one. Like he's the smart one. But it ain't about, I believe it's about commitment. You know, I'm not the brightest, but I found something that was interesting to me when I went to college, and it was psychology. I stuck with it. I barely went to high school. My father came up there one day looking for me. You know how to get on the speakerphone. Oh, girl, I was gone. Now I wasn't there. But when I went to college, I found my people. I found people that were like me, people that had the same interests as I did. I found where I fit in, and I became committed.
I said it's crazy because me and all of my sisters, we all went to HBCUs.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and we argue who went to the first because I went to Cheney, they went to Lincoln. So
Okay.
I'm always like, I went to the first HBCU. So they're arguing, no, I was the first. And it's so crazy because so many people have a misconception that HBCUs just teach you how to be radical and there's nothing but partying. And I'm like, it teaches you a sense of self. I'm looking at my daughter. My daughter went to a HBCU. I
Yeah.
said, girl, we ain't living in Jersey. No, we living in Texas, baby. You gotta go somewhere where you're gonna see faces that look like yours.
Right. Yeah. That changed my life. That was a pivotal point in my development. Um, Not only when I went to Virginia State, but believe it or not, when I pledged my sorority, when I became,
Yes.
because not so much of the organization in and of itself, but because of the women that I met as a result of being in the organization and the principles that coincided with how I was raised. Meeting those women, we are still best friends. 26 years.
Amen. And
Mhm.
I said, and it's something to say, and I love everybody,
Mhm.
but it's something when I see my sisters that look like me just killing it.
Very-
Oh my God, girl. It just, I'm like, I know I'm not a doctor, but y'all be making me feel like I'm one. I'm like, because when I look at y'all, I'm so proud.
I feel about Adrian. I have been following you, Ever since I left San Antonio, I told you, my husband knew you before you knew him. Because I look at my hair. Look how good she looks. You see her hair? Cut my hair like that. Just to see the metamorphosis of how you have blossomed. When I sent you the text, I meant every word. I am girl, so proud of you. I am just like, how
Thank you.
work with her. That's what I told Charles. I don't care. Make it happen. I need.
And you know what, girl, is so crazy. When I say this, some people, when I say it, they think, they like, girl, how could you say that? Because I was saying one of the best times in my life was when my mom passed.
Okay.
And it's weird because me and my mother was like this. And I used to always say, I don't know what I would do without her, what I'd do without. And God said, I'm about to show you what you would do without her. And I did not realize how much I had depended on my mother opposed to taking it to God.
Yeah.
Girl, and I had to apologize. I'm apologizing to her and her death. I'm like, Mommy, I'm sorry. Because it had to be a weight.
Yeah.
Of always taking care of people. And I said, you figure during that year was the year I got off of chemo. That's why I said, it was like new life. When I'm talking about was new life, I was like, okay, everything that you have ever believed in, go after it. I don't care how you performed in school. I don't care how you was the dumb one. I don't care how you was the one in those streets making the poor decisions. I'm like, the only way I could show you is by doing the work.
Right.
You know, and girl, it was hard, you know, like God has blessed me with, oh my God, I told you how you and Dr. Angela, y'all remind me so much of each other. It's not even funny. That is like, she like my sister from another mother, and I know God has placed her in my life for a reason. And I admire her. I look up to her. That's why I said y'all got a similar story. I don't know if you saw her putting down St. Charles Street in 34. Like, and her story is how she came from food stamps to being a physician.
Girl, yeah.
That's what I said. When it's like I look at y'all, it gives nobody an excuse. You know, and I'm the worst person to give me an excuse, because I'm like, you know what, life is going to throw a whole bunch of things at you. What are you going to do with it?
Yes. All I can say is yes to that. Yes. Yes, Dr. Angela. What you going to do? You going to sit down, you're going to sit down and die? That's an option.
Come on.
You know, but it ain't an option for me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see how I can go around it, go under it, go over it. But at the end of the day, we got to prevail. We got to figure out how we're going to make this work. I mean, I think when you put in your mind that failure is not an option.
Come on.
It's not an option. I know that's right. You know, failure is not an option. That don't mean you're not going to fail, because God knows I failed.
Come on. If you don't, your name Jesus.
I know that's right.
that's all it is. Right. Come on.
But when you fail, what you going to do? You're going to take the lessons learned from that failure and say, okay, now I'm going to do it again. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to make them dry bones live again. That's just how I was taught. Okay, and what? I remember calling my mother one day while I was working on my doctorate. I was just, I was just in tears. I was just so frustrated. And she told me, she said, "What you calling me crying for?" I said, "What? I don't need to be talking to you." She said, "No, because see, at the end of the day, you got people that's dependent on you. So you sitting here crying over something that you can change, you can fix. When we hang up, do what you need to do and get back up on the horse. Because I'm not hearing no excuses." So that's the lineage that I came from.
Mm-hmm.
You
Girl,
understand?
so much wisdom.
So yeah.
So much wisdom. It's like I look at the stories how my grandmother and my mother, they was raised on a plantation in Georgia.
Wow.
So my grandmother, she don't have nothing higher than a fifth grade education.
Yep. Mine's had a six.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And my grandmother would tell the story of how when she would work in their house,
Mm-hmm.
how they would tell her if the house ever caught on fire, make sure you go in there and grab all the silverware. And when she would just she told the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at my mother and all of her siblings having bad feet
Mm-hmm.
due to when they would go into the town to go buy shoes, if their feet touched it, even if it was too small, they had to purchase it.
Mm.
But I'm like, my grandmother, she had the mindset because she thought that she wasn't great. Well, she knows she's great now because we all of her grandkids tell her.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like, Granny, even then you were so smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, you manage 5 kids and a husband and the money.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that trips me out.
Girl,
You
that's what I said is the wisdom.
right. It's like yours. My grandmother had a fifth grade education, sixth grade education, 4 kids, no husband.
See, mine's had a husband, but girl, you know how that was.
She had them, but she divorced them. But she managed to buy a house. Now,
My grandmother.
I'm like, you managed to buy a home, to have a stable home for your kids where they was raised up. And I mean, I was raised in the house. She was able to create an environment of stability. No education, but it was commitment. She went out every day. She did what she had to do. She was a housekeeper. She worked in, white women homes.
Mm-hmm.
She would tell me stories how she would put cardboard in the bottom of her shoes because they would have holes in them.
Girl, that was my daddy.
And so when you hear those stories, see, we don't hear enough of them stories no more. But when I would hear her tell those stories, it did something to me. It was like, how can I not win? How can I come home with an F?
Jesus.
How can I? That's a disgrace
Jesus.
to her. I remember going to the food pantry to get food. We was on food stamps. I remember all of that. And that's where the commitment came in. Because like I told you earlier, I don't like being poor. I don't like it. But it served a purpose because it gave me it gave me motivation. It still gives me motivation. And it gave me empathy.
Amen. That is real. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that's probably one of the things that are lacking.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at, girl, I had to literally take CNN and the news channels off my phone because
Right.
I was watching it. So, girl, I didn't know what was going on in the world until Saturday when the client was like, "You wasn't gonna talk." Girl, I stopped watching it. But it was just like I'm looking, I'm like, where has the empathy and the compassion?
Mm-hmm. There is none. There is none. These mass shootings
Come on.
we have been experiencing in our country, There is no regard for human life no more. There is just because it's just no regard for human life. And it's so funny when we call home and we talking to family home, and you hearing stories. Oh yeah, girl, such and such got shot, and yeah, he got stabbed. I don't even call no more. Mm-mm.
Come on.
I can't. I tell my mother all the time, I love my boring life. I go to work, I come home, hallelujah. I don't need to know who got shot, who having their 10th, 15th baby. I don't need that. You understand? Because
Micheline said her too. She had, girl,
right.
you gotta shut it off.
Because that stuff gets down in your spirit.
Yes, it do.
Mm,
Yes, it do.
mm-mm. Nope.
And that's a believer of what you think about is what you bring about.
I know that's right. Yes.
That's why when I be telling people when they're like, I want my healing, and it's like even like last week when my lupus all flaring up and stuff, I'm like, I'm trusting God. He
Mm-hmm.
gonna get this body right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I'm not gonna hold on to none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, because I'm like, if I keep on constantly think of how sick I am,
Right.
that's what's gonna continue to show up for me.
Yeah.
And it's not a lie if I'm believing that my body is healed.
That's it. Because that's your promise.
Come on.
That's your promise. Miss she, me too, Kay.
Okay.
But you are so right. And it hasn't really been until the past couple of years, Adrian, that I really have taken a hold of the power of the mind.
Mm.
Because that's how, for me, that's the biggest battleground.
I know that's my biggest battleground.
That's the
Girl,
big.
I'm laughing at my old, it makes me think of my oldest son that I adopted. I adopted him, remember when I adopted Trevor at 16.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor said, Ma, I always used to think it was a punishment when you used to make us read the Battlefield of the Mind. Because I was, girl, every time, read this book. And it was like I read it. And girl, my kids, I'm not lying to you, they probably read that book over 10 times. And my son said to me, he said, Ma, I did not understand
Mm-hmm.
until I went off to college
Mm-hmm.
and he was dealing with, his biological parents still not clean, trying to come back into his life. And
Mm-hmm.
he said it was this mental thing going on in his head that he was still trapped there, even though he was still in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where he had to learn how to pretty much fight for his life. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah. I said, when you think about it, the first place that Satan go.
That's it. That's it. Because see, your thoughts, your emotions are attached to your thoughts. And so what you think about produces how you feel, which produces how you behave. So everything starts with, what am I thinking about?
They said, what you think about, you bring about.
That's it. That's it. And now my grandmother used to tell me that all the time, and I didn't really, I would hear, but it wasn't rhema to me. It wasn't a live word. But as I'm getting older, I'm really seeing the impact of what we say. It just has so much power.
It goes back to what you said in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to think, yeah, I'm street, you got to be quick with the words, but then you don't realize how those words, you can't take them back.
And they cut. Oh, they cut so deep. They
That
cut.
is so true.
Mm-hmm. They cut so deep, so deep. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what you got going on for you next, girl?
Well, I am so excited to announce I am a part of an anthology that will be launching on August the 7th.
Come on.
Phenomenal Women Who Boss Up. I want to give a shout out to Miss Tamara Luck. And I am going to be on the Seven Figure Boss Summit. Adrian,
Hey.
I'm so excited. I've been looking for me a gala dress all day.
Girl, just get your nice, sexy black attire.
I, I am so I'm honored that you asked me. And I just can't wait. I love Houston. I love Joey's. That's that restaurant Joey's that's across from the Houston.
Girl, do you want to hear something so bad? When everybody asks me about places in Texas,
Uh-huh.
I really don't know about them because I'm like, the first chance I get, I'm flying out of here.
Yeah, you be gone. You be
Yeah.
gone.
But my son did have me take him to the turkey leg. So I was like, okay. So I know the turkey leg now. But yeah, I guess I got to find out about Joey's, huh?
Yes. Yes. I think that's the name of it. It is the food is wonderful. It's very nice, very upscale, professional, type of atmosphere. Very nice. But I am just so excited to be. This whole household is excited. I'm telling Charles today, you got to get your new suit
Girl, come on.
now. So I am, as I said earlier, I have from the moment I met you, I just was in awe. I mean, you were the first person to teach me what a colorist was. I'm like,
And be like, black folks can wear blonde too. Okay.
but the style that you have and the swag, I was like, I like her. I could rock with her. And I've been rocking with you. I've been following you. I am just so proud of you. And I am just so
Thank you,
honored
sis.
to be able to stand on your stage. I'm just grateful.
Girl, I cannot wait for my audience to hear what you got to share. I cannot wait for the connections because you gonna meet some bad people.
Oh Lord.
I already know already you and Dr. Angela, y'all gonna connect like y'all been knowing each other for like 50 years now.
No, I
But
can't wait to meet her.
but girl, everybody that's gonna be on my stage, Michelin is on here now. Everybody is like so dope. She got her summit coming up,
Oh, good.
and I love hearing everybody's story.
Yeah.
And I love the come up. It's too many times, especially as Black women,
Hmm.
we get so afraid to talk about the money because we're worried about the opinions of
Hmm.
how people are going to look at us. you
Hmm.
know um and one thing that my mother did say to me, um when people would be like, oh, you so bougie,
Hmm.
and my mother said to me, she says, it is nothing wrong with being bougie. That means you just want the finer things in life.
I know
She
that.
said, who don't want it?
Right.
Who raised their hand for the struggle?
Exactly.
I don't see nobody that volunteers, I want to struggle.
Exactly.
So this summit is, like I said, it's bosses like you, where y'all coming and y'all bringing it, and y'all bringing the real. Y'all bringing the real. This is how I made my money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Opposed to giving them a whole bunch of fluff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. Thank you, sis. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie, but when it's certain summits that I go to,
Hmm.
and I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot relate.
Yeah.
If your parents gave you $1 million to start your first business,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm like, I had to hustle for mine,
And you appreciate it more.
girl.
You
And that's why I said, everybody that's on my stage, all of y'all are self-made. Every last one of y'all. And that is the beauty in this for me, to see self-made.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Come on now. The person that was pouring into you, she had a sixth grade education.
Education. Adrian, you know why I love Jay-Z? Jay-Z is not what you would consider a highly educated man. What I admire about this brother is that all he did was take the hustle from the street
Come on.
to the boardroom.
Come on.
He took those same, because the business practices don't change. It's just, it's just, I got to flip it for who I'm working with, but the
Come
principles
on.
are the same. The principles are the same. That's what I admire about him.
And that's all we trying to do is get these people to tap into it.
That's it.
Tap into it.
That's it.
It's like you got a gold mine sitting right in your lap.
Yep.
Oh my God, sis. So where can they find you?
So
we done messed around and been on here for an hour, I tell you.
Oh Lord, that's enough. Definitely, you can find me at mindset.com. That's my website. You can also find me or email me at info@mindsetllc.com. You can hit me up on Instagram, ZetaDoc97.
Oh,
right. TikTok at Shamecca Scott 1. So those are the social media platforms. I'm on TikTok. Girl, sometimes I get them all mixed up. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's how I know I'm getting old. But you just type in my name in the search engine and it's gonna come up. But definitely mindsetllc.com. Like I said, it's the website. Hit me up, email me, and I will definitely respond back.
So why should they come and see you at the 7-Figure Boss Summit?
Because you already said it.
Come through.
I'm gonna come through.
I know that's right. I'm like, get the shoes and everything.
I know that's right.
She said you get better. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Shamecca, my sis.
It's very
I can't believe we was on here for an hour, but it was good. It was good.
Thank you.
I love you, sis. And I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. The countdown is now.
Yes.
VIP tickets are sold, but guess what? We still got general admission. So they could come and check us out with general admission.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, beautiful. Bye.
Sweet. Bye.
All right, guys. Well, you all heard from them. So y'all got to get in the room because guess what? We have the most dynamic, bad behind speakers that are going to give y'all some of these tangible skills to set your business on fire. Y'all, when I mean, I've been seeing these speakers, they're working. They're working. And if y'all know anything about me, I am your brand lady, where I could take your business from point A to point Z and make you unstoppable and allow for your brand to stand out in a crowded market. But you know how I always like to end it. We are going to go out and we're going to make $1 million choices. Make sure y'all have a great day.